Wow, I didn't expect that. I don't think many of us did. West Ham 3, Chelsea 1. Amazing day. Amazing day to be back at London Stadium. Obviously, the first time we're back since the Cup win. It was always going to be a good atmosphere, especially being a London derby. But I did not anticipate that. I didn't expect that kind of result. When we were doing the predictions, I did think we were going to win. I had this sort of sneaky feeling we might get a result. But my kind of prediction was that we were just going to defend like hell, get a nick of 1-0. But no, I was very, very impressed overall with the performance. I thought we played really well. Great day as well, wasn't it? Like, just so good to be back at home. And it really does feel like we've sort of, I don't know, kick-started our season now. We're up and running. You know what I mean? It's such a lovely feeling. Just quickly, I mean, I'm sure we've all seen it and people at the ground and seen highlights, match of the day, all that kind of stuff. But, you know, I just quickly go over, obviously, the main talking points. So, first of all, James Ward-Prowse delivery for the first goal, which a Gerd scored from a header from a corner. What can you say? James Ward-Prowse, amazing introduction to life at West Ham. This is what we wanted. This is what he was signed for, you know. We'll talk about Ward-Prowse in a minute, a bit more detail. But I mean, what a way to start your West Ham career. What a way. I mean, I couldn't believe it, really. It's funny enough, actually, before the goal, it was only a few minutes before, we had a corner and we nearly scored from that. And I remember thinking, God, that was a great delivery. And then, obviously, it was only 7 minutes in. As I say, James Ward-Prowse whips in the corner. Lovely header from a Gerd at the back post. Nothing that Chelsea could do about it, really. But, yeah, great start to the game. It was brilliant. But I will say, it was just typical West Ham after that, wasn't it? It just felt like we scored, we're on top, and you're thinking, here we go. I actually felt like we could go and get a second goal pretty quickly because they would be quite rattled, Chelsea. But we didn't. We did our typical, let's sit back, let's absorb some more pressure, let's try and play counter-attack. I get that that's our style, but sometimes, you know, you think, go for the second, push now, because if we nick that second goal now, it's game over early on, but not necessarily game over, but you know what I mean? It would have given us a lovely cushion. But no, we sat back. We started to defend again, much like we did against Bournemouth. Sat back and we were punished. We were absolutely punished. Chuck Wemenka for Chelsea. I hope that's how you pronounce it. So apologies if it's completely wrong, but that's what I'm going to go with. Yeah, he got an equaliser on just before the half-hour mark. It was one of those goals that it was just coming, wasn't it? You could sense they were going to score. I was quite surprised it took that long, really. They were having chance after chance. And we weren't really threatening at that point. We were just defending. And Chelsea have got that quality, haven't they? They've got so much talent in that squad. And, you know, despite them having a bad season last season, and they're clearly still a club that's in massive transition, new manager, new players, etc., you can still see the quality in their team. So it was only a matter of time before they were going to score. And they did. There we go. And it was 1-1 with sort of on the half-hour mark. And there was that feeling then of dread. I just thought, oh, God. I mean, I was with my dad and I was saying to him straight away, you know, we need half time now. We need it. We need the break because we need to, you know, sort of go back to the drawing board, as it were, and sort of think, how we're going to tackle the second half. But because I could only see Chelsea then winning it at that point. We'll get back to the video in just a second, but I just wanted to let you know this video is actually sponsored by CIRCL and specifically their game 5 Match Millions. I'm going to be honest with you, okay, that we're very picky about who we work with on the channel. For the West Ham Way, we are. And when they approached us to sponsor the channel, we said, well, okay, but I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll basically use your app for a couple of weeks just to make sure that we're happy with it. I've got to say, it's really good and very addictive, I'll warn you. Basically, the way it works is they pick 5 games for the weekend, Premier League football games, okay? And each game, you pick a number. You can do it either randomly, or you do a lucky dip, or you pick the numbers that you want. And the way it works is that it's numbers from 1 to 27, and basically the die will spin depending on what happens in the game. So if there's a throw-in, it moves 2 places to the left. If there's a yellow card, it goes 4 to the right. And basically, wherever it ends at the end of the game, it'll land on a number. And if you get that number, then you win. So basically, you can win up to £1 million if you get all 5, okay? And the first, so if you match 1, you get your money back plus a couple of quid extra, blah, 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 blah. And basically, I think even if you match 3 numbers, you get 75 quid. So it's very, very good. And yeah, and basically all it is £2 a week to play. Now, if you click on the link below and type in West Ham Way, next weekend's games, you get absolutely free and get to give it a go. So why not just give it a go? Got nothing to lose. I've got to say, it's really, really good. And as I say, I've won already twice. It might be beginner's luck. It might well be beginner's luck, but I'm definitely going to carry on playing. But yeah, so click the link below, West Ham Way. Good luck. And then they get the penalty right before half time. It was a clumsy challenge from Souček on Sterling. And yeah, penalty, and you kind of think, well, this is. I've got to be honest. My mind was, it's game over now. I think Chelsea are going to go ahead, and we're going to really struggle to turn this around. It's going to be very hard, because it did feel at that point that we just lost our momentum completely. As I say, after the first 10 minutes, though, we looked great, and then we just tailed off. But I'll tell you what, it was the turning point in that part of the game, wasn't it? Because Areola made a fantastic save from Enzo Fernandez penalty. And what was interesting, I don't know if you saw it, but after the game, Areola was interviewed, and he said, I was really confident. I knew I was going to save it. And I thought, and it didn't come across like an arrogance. It came across like he'd done his homework. He knew where he was going to put the ball. Because if you watch the penalty back, you can kind of see he knew. It seemed like he was very sure where he was going. So brilliant save. And I think that was a turning point. It just sprung us to life. It was perfect tonic just going into the break, wasn't it? Chelsea's heads are down. They felt like they could be in front and should be in front. And let's be honest, if you're going to pick a side that should have been leading at half time, it was Chelsea. West Ham, we certainly weren't the better side in that first half. So I'll be honest, and I think most fans will join me in this. I was nervous going into the second half. I did think, if we go into the same kind of pattern of play in terms of how it was in the first, we were going to really struggle. But I tell you what, credit to the players, credit to the manager. Whatever was said, however they set up a second half, whatever the attitude was going to the second half, it worked. It really did, because West Ham, we just came out of our towels up. We looked so up for it, and you could just sense it was going to be. I mean, I personally, when it started, I thought it's going to be the same as the first half. We're going to go guns blazing the first 10 minutes or so, and then we'll tail off. But we just didn't. We really, really went for it. And then we were ahead. It was on 53 minutes. So, just less than 10 minutes into the second half, we were ahead again. I mean, what a goal. What a goal from Mikel Antonio. I've got to say, he gets his criticisms, Antonio, but he was excellent. Really good against Chelsea. I thought he bullied them. He worked so hard. He caused them all manner of problems. Second half performance was outstanding from him. He was brilliant. And what a goal. I mean, that was a real... It reminded me of that goal. I think he scored that similar goal against Newcastle. Was it away? If I remember rightly, something like that. If I remember rightly, like a couple of seasons ago. But he just absolutely levered it into the bottom corner, and I was so impressed with him. A great goal, and it just lifted everybody, didn't it? And the stadium was rocking at that moment. And to be honest with you, despite Chelsea having a lot of the ball, and they did, I think we had something like 23-24% possession overall in the game. They weren't really threatening us after that. I mean, you could argue Chelsea had a lot more, as I say, of the play and they're doing that. But I felt that, where's the threat, though? Do you know what I mean? They're playing the ball around nice, but they're not. Areola's not having to make amazing saves here. They're not peppering our goal, with shots and what have you. We were dealing with it really well, and it was just a brilliant performance. And then we had the turning point. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, we'll talk about the man of the match in a minute. Agurd for me was outstanding yesterday. Let's just park what I'm going to talk about in a minute. He was absolutely brilliant in that game. Our best player, probably. Really, he was just so good. Dealing with their front line, which you consider the quality they've got, they couldn't deal with Agurd. He was just all over them. I mean, I was so impressed with him. I mean, there wasn't really any bad performers, I'd say, out there today. Really, they all put in a good shift, but Agurd was excellent. And then he sort of let himself down and went in for a challenge. Whilst on a booking. What time was this? This was on the 67th minute. So, and bearing in mind the add-on minutes now we have on games because of all the bits and pieces like throw-ins and celebrate, all this stuff they add on. We had a long way to go at that period. And he just went in like a lunatic and flew it. Totally didn't need to do the challenge. It was a clear foul. He went in studs up, caught the player, second yellow card, off down to 10 men. And like many fans, just felt, here we go, deflated. We were doing so well at this point. We were playing some lovely football, and we were playing a counter attack as we do. But I find the counter attack exciting, don't you? Like, I mean, as much as we sit and complain, go, yeah, but it's just defending. But when we're defending so well and so well organised, you don't feel that anxious. You're thinking, yeah, Chelsea, you have the ball. We don't think you're going to score it. We're so in control. Because once we get possession, we're going to go. And yeah, that was the feeling at that moment. And then Agurd does that, and it just, I thought that was it. I thought, here we go now. We're in trouble. It's going to literally be like us completely back to the wall, and this is going to be them now peppering our goal. But I've got to say, I thought we dealt with it really well. I even would go as far as saying you wouldn't have noticed if we were down to 10 men. It was an unbelievable response from West Ham. They put in such a good shift and worked so hard. Angelo Bonner, comes on, and credit to that player. I mean, you consider his age and how, and the players he's up against, and you just think, wow, what a professional. And he's come off the back of a bad injury, serious knee injury, and he comes back like that. And not saying he has just come back from that injury, but not long ago. A remarkable performance from him. Comes in and just looks like there's no problem with him. He hasn't lost a step. He's just there dealing with it professionally as he does. Excellent. And then I could be honest, I didn't think Chelsea were going to score. After about 10 minutes after Aguerd was sent off, I just thought, I don't think they're going to score now. I couldn't see them scoring because we just were so well organised. And we just looked great. When we were in possession, we played some lovely football. Despite the referee, by the way, who I've got to say was atrocious. I mean, some of the decisions were shockingly bad. I hate going down that route of Big Six bias, but God, it's hard to ignore it, isn't it, sometimes? You're thinking, how are you making these decisions? Because you constantly think to yourself, if that was on the other way round, would you have made that decision? And you just think, I just know they wouldn't. But, I'm not going to sit and complain about the ref. I just think, let's be honest, it was a really good day for West Ham. And it was just capped off, wasn't it, at the end? And it had to be Mr. Lucas Paqueta. So we were given a penalty, and completely rightly so. Caicedo, a ridiculous challenge on Emerson. I mean, a laughable debut performance from him. I mean, £115 million signing. You'd expect a lot better, wouldn't you? I mean, I appreciate he came on sort of last 20 minutes or half hour, whatever, but it was a pretty shambolic performance, really. He didn't do anything other than just keep giving away fouls, and he just looked so off the pace. I don't know what it was all about, but who cares? It was a wonderful day for us. He clatters into Emerson, 95th minute. I mean, we're talking, I think it was 7 minutes added on, 7 or 8 minutes added on. So it was much, the clock was ticking. And you think, go on, hold on, West Ham, just hold on, don't give it up. Come on, we can't lose this game. Oh, sorry, draw the game. Let's get the 3 points. And then, wow, get the penalty, upsets Paqueta. And it doesn't even, does the whole the class. He doesn't even look. He just tucks the ball away. And his celebration was amazing, wasn't it? Not only the dance, but I loved that he was just so much relief, and you could see what it really meant to him. And fair play to Lucas Paqueta, because not only has he been heavily linked with a move to Manchester City, which, let's be honest, most players would be so distracted by. You've got an opportunity to go and play for Pep Guardiola and the team that just won the treble. You can't deny it. And let's be honest, he's only been here a year, so it's not like he's been at the club for years. It's very difficult for him to leave. But he's, what a shift he's put in. He went and played well against Bournemouth, and he was excellent against Chelsea. He really grew into the game. First half, he looked a little bit out of sorts, you'd probably say. But wow, second half, he was outstanding. And I was just so pleased for him. Amazing day. And a few points I want to make on this, okay, before I do the sort of summary of man of the match and stuff. David Moyes, he gets a lot of criticisms from fans, myself included, for the negative tactics at times. And I certainly was feeling that at half time. I felt, like I was just saying, we went 1-0 up. And I just think they go for the jugular. Go and get the killer. Go for them, because they rattled. Chelsea weren't expecting to be 1-0 down after 7 minutes. And for me, that's the time you strike. You go for it. But it always feels like we just don't. We just go, no, okay, let's now defend our lead. And when you're thinking you've got bloody, 7 minutes into a match, you've got 90-minute match, which you're going to have plus 10 minutes, whatever it is. You can't do that. But you know what? At half time, I was wondering how we respond and come out and play. And credit to the manager and the players, because it came out completely correct. He got the subs completely right at the right times. And he just dealt with everything really well. And I really big credit to David Moyes, actually, because that was a big win. A big win, because you consider last season and how we started that Premier League campaign, and it just set the tone, didn't it? We lost to Man City, when we lost to Nottingham Forest, and we're bottom of the league, and it was all just, that was it. Now, look where we are now. It's a complete reversal of that. And it's just wonderful to see. And credit to David Moyes. Another person, obviously, I want to talk about, I've kind of already talked about him anyway, Lucas Paqueta. He's been in the spotlight, not only for his Manchester City move, but of course, because of these gambling allegations and all that hanging over him. We're going to do a video on that soon, in a bit more detail where we are with it. But I'll tell you what, incredible. Like, just shows the character of the man, and the fact that he's just got on with it. A lot of players would have not played. would have said, "No, I've got too much going on. My head's not in the right place." Or blah 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 blah. You know, you'd expect that. You know, I'm under the spotlight. I think he's got a hearing this week, so you can imagine he'd be distracted. But no, he wouldn't have known it. He just goes out and plays such a great game, and what a talent, what an absolute talent that man is. And full credit to him because he was excellent. Really did run the show. Second half, he was outstanding, and yeah, big credit to him. And of course, how can we not talk about James Ward-Prowse? I mean, that is a debut, isn't it? I mean, 2 assists. He set up, obviously, the first I was talking about for the Agurd corner, and then he laid on a wonderful ball over to Mikel Antonio, went on who scored a screamer. I mean, you can't ask for better. And I'll tell you what, it's not even the assist from Ward-Prowse, it's his energy. He was all over that pitch. He worked his socks off. And when he came off for Emerson, which I think was around the 80th minute, no, sorry, for Emerson, for Alvarez. And I just thought you could see when he was coming off how exhausted he was and just what it meant to him. I'll tell you what, you know, you don't want to get ahead of yourself, but you kind of look at it and think, what a signing. What a signing this could be for West Ham. This could be something that we've, you know, because it's, I don't know, like sometimes he doesn't get the credit he deserves. You know, I was watching him play, I think, wow, he's a really good player. Like, he gets around, his touch is lovely. He looks composed. He doesn't look nervous. And you consider the fact this is his debut. All right, I know you're not a kid, but you'd still think you'd be a bit anxious, you know, considering the fact this is his first move from his boyhood club against Chelsea, London derby, you know, big stadium, and you think he might be a little bit anxious, but you would never have known it. He was outstanding, and the fact he got an assist, you know, in the first under 10 minutes was amazing. So really big credit to him. And let's be honest, this is the ideal way we want to start this season. I talked about it in video. You can go back. I mean, you don't have to, of course, but I talked about it when the fixture just came out and felt, oh, this is a good opportunity. You know, Bournemouth away, Chelsea at home, we could get some points on the board. I wouldn't have said it this way round. I'd have probably thought we'd get the draw at Chelsea and the win at possibly Bournemouth, but I'll take that. You know, 2 games played, unbeaten. Great. You know, and you consider Bournemouth away. Anything getting away from home is always a great result. Let's be honest. And let's be honest, we should have probably beaten Bournemouth. But to beat Chelsea like that, a side that has spent £1 billion in the last 12 months, West Ham were brilliant. I thought we played really well. Second half, I mean, overall, West Ham were the better team. First half, Chelsea, yeah, I'll accept that. Second half, though, we were miles better, and we played really well. Some great football. Fully deserved it. I'm really pleased for him. Really pleased for David Moyes. Chuffed for Lucas Paqueta, and especially James Ward-Prowse. I mean, what a debut. And of course, Alvarez came on as well, which was great to see, and a great performance from him as well. He looked good. Do you know what? It's, you know, you don't want to get ahead of yourself. You're 2 games in, so let's not get carried away at all, because you know, it could all go crumbling down before you know it. But you just get the feeling that there's a bit of a team here. There's a bit of a side building here, and I don't know, just get a bit of a buzz, a bit of a lift. That's what we needed. We needed to start this season well. Brighton away next, of course. But I tell you what, after that performance, after that result against a side like Chelsea, could the hoodoo be broken? Don't know. Doubt it. But I'll tell you what, I'm going into that game now with a bit more confidence.